Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to use the new RC blocks, since it seems a lot of people have been struggling with that. So I'm going to show you how to do it. It's pretty easy and simple. First, to find them, go to the Gadgets tab, and go down to Logic, and then you will see the radio sender and the radio receiver. The receiver receives the input from the sender, and the sender sends it to the receiver. So to use them, you will take from the sender and you will make sure these two are on the same channels. Since on default they're all on channel 1, if you have multiple, like let's say you want more than 2 keybinds, you would have 2 sets. These would both need to be on a different channel. Like that. And then the channel isolation down here, you have none, player, and team. Team, anyone on your team can, I guess, read and write it as it says. Player is only you, and none is anyone can do the thing. And you'll need to set that for both, and if you don't set it properly, they won't communicate. Next thing, if I build a little car here, so what I'm gonna need is probably 3 of these. No, actually, maybe 4. Just get a whole bunch and just set some channels. And then set your channel isolation. Generally, you'll want it set to player, because that makes the most sense. And when you are using RC, you can spawn in anything. It doesn't have to be on the same build, but for testing purposes, you'll probably just want to use a detachable block, because then you don't have to spawn it in every time, and when you go into build mode, it gives you that creation back instead of having to go find it. So we're gonna just make a big ugly car just for showing how to use this. And there we go. This would be an unusable car if it wasn't for, if you didn't have a seat on this, normally this is unusable. Unless you knew how to do the old RC glitch that doesn't need to be done anymore. But we still can't control this vehicle if I drop it, because if I drop it, nothing happens. So what now I have to do is add radio receivers. And then we'll set them to the same channels as the other ones, as the senders. And again, set your channel isolation, otherwise it won't work. So now we gotta customize these. So let's say we want this one to be W and S, which is forward and backwards. You will set the positive and negative like you would any other block. And then these, you could just set straight into the engine. So now if I drop this, I could drive the car forward and back, but I still can't steer. What we gotta do is take another one and do the same thing. And there we go. A nice little working car. And that only takes 2. You only need 2 senders and receivers just to make something this simple. But the issue is, if you go drive across the carrier here, you will lose some depth perception, and it will be hard to steer it from far away, because you can't see from it. So to fix that, you just come and grab a camera drone. This thing literally can be oriented however the heck you want. It will just always face up. So the camera drone has a few options. You have your angle, which limits the camera angle. So if it's facing forward, it will limit you. But if I use it on here, you'll see I can't look 360. I'm stuck in like a little box. So what you want to normally do is set the angle to max, because then you can look in any direction you want. And next thing is you have your field of view. So if you set that to maximum, your camera's going to zoom way out. Wow, it's taking a long time. But your field of view is now really wide, and you can't really see much. Or you could set your field of view of like nothing, and it's gonna zoom in. So now it's like a zoom camera. But normally just leave it on the default setting. Next thing is you have your distance. So if you set the distance really close, it'll put you closer to the camera. And if you set it far out, it'll put you farther away from the camera. I'm pretty sure it's in meters, I'm guessing. And 1 meter in this game is a 1x4. 4 blocks is a whole meter. So normally on small vehicles, you just set that to low. Vertical offset's just the vertical offset of the camera, so you can just send your camera straight up. Or you could put it in line with the camera. Transition time, the amount of time you switch between cameras. So if I set it to 0, it's instant. But if I set it to like 30 seconds, okay, so it does nothing. Just don't even worry about this anyways. And then you have your camera modes. So behind the block is straight behind the camera, acts like behind a seat. Free orbit is like just the regular orbit camera. Allows you to put your camera anywhere and move it normally. And then you have your normal sticky orbit, which when you drive something, it stays with the camera. Normally, you'll just do orbit. So now we have to hook up this. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take one of these and make it a toggle. And then take this one and go into the camera. So now, I can switch in and out of the RC vehicle. Very simple. Pretty cool. And now you have made your first RC vehicle. And you'll find the RC stuff is only annoying because you have 2 connections for it. There are only 1 complexity per sender and 1 per one per sender and 1 per receiver. And I think the camera drone is also 1. Now I'm gonna... maybe I'll build a little RC plane. No. Also, you can hook up the RC to weapons. Anything that you can configure with logic, you can hook RC up to. So if I take our last thing here, and I set it to like left click, and I hook into the gun. Now, you have a tank. Not really, but you have a car with a gun. So you can have little RC tank battles, little RC plane battles. Maybe eventually I'll build an RC LPD and fight that around. That might be cool. Little miniature LPD. And also, aiming servos do not work, as far as I remember. Yeah, aiming servos do not work. Alright, thank you everyone for watching this video. I do hope it was actually helpful, because I I've seen a lot of people struggling with the RC stuff, so I decided to make this. Again, thank you all for watching. If there's anything you'd like me to see, or not see, do in this game, let me know. And remember, we're all Trailmakers.